But I do believe that sometimes we think because something might allegedly, for whatever reasons, feels like it's out of reach, that you can't obtain it, or that it takes more steps than is actually required in order to do that. And I want to share a little bit more about that journey. So let's dive into this week's episode on me writing my brand new book. I'm excited, super excited. Welcome to the Video Simplified podcast, where I help you simplify the video creation process to help you reach wider and connect deeper with the people that need you the most. From learning to use your camera to simplifying video strategies to help you grow your brand and share your vision using video. So let's jump right into today's episode. What is up, fellow content creators everywhere in the world? This is an international show. It is me, your hostess, the mostess, Diana Gladney. Super pumped and excited to be back here on another live recording of our podcast. So if you're listening to the audio version of this tomorrow morning, or it would be whenever day that you're listening to this, and when it dropped 5 a.m. Central Standard Time every day, not every day, Monday, every Monday, you're guaranteed to get an episode. So I'm super excited and to talk about this journey, this book writing experience, what this has been like, and the likes. Saying hello to Mr. Camera Junkie over in the chat, the fam here. Got a love outreach here. Yes. Ooh, why are you so large? Text box screen. And then we have a love outreach. Good to see you over from Arizona. And then afterwards, I guess we could do a little Q&A depending, time warranted and the like. These episodes usually don't run tremendously long. But if you have questions, ask. I'm not trying to withhold any information when it comes to this process, but I also want to make sure that it's extremely clear of how this works and how writing this book became infinitely better with a few mindset shifts. Shout out to Dale L. Roberts over at Self-Publishing with Dale. He just changed his YouTube channel name to his name. So welcome to the Change Your Channel Name crew, because there was a lot of us that had all these grandiose ideas about a channel name, and then it's like, you know what, people just search for my name, so let's put that as the channel name, and then when they tag you in the chat for different things, they don't have to type 73,000 characters. So shout out to Dale L. Roberts. He's been monumental in this experience, and guess what, I found out about Dale through YouTube, and he has been, again, just monumental in this whole experience, so I'm super grateful. I started sharing a little bit before in the pre-show bits of how how writing this book has become that much easier because of being a creator already, being a video content creator. And I think sometimes we separate those two worlds because they're different. One requires me to be on camera, do something to your hair, wash your face, brush a tooth or two, and show up, get ready, and serve. You're serving your message through video. However, I am not somebody that is easily, I won't say anymore, because at one point in my life, I was very afraid of a lot of things, just constantly a nervous wreck. Used to have panic attacks all the time. It's a very different life than the life I lead now. And what I noticed through personal development, great and amazing mentors in my life, and coaches and leaders, helped to change who I am to the version of me that I wanted to be in my mind years ago. But I used to be really afraid of a lot of things. And so when something comes back up again and I'm afraid, then I want to understand why, or where is this coming from, or where is this rooted in that's making me feel this way. And so I remember I was at People of Video 2021, and I was speaking at that event. Dale was hosting, Dale L. Roberts, again, over at Self-Publishing with Dale, or formerly Self-Publishing with Dale, and he was the MC, but he also had a presentation as well. And so I was very excited to hear his talk on, again, authoring a book, and that's something I've been wanting to do. You put it on your list of things that you want to achieve, whether it's your 1, 3, 5, 10, 7-year goals, whatever. You're looking at the things that you want to accomplish. And I know a lot of us that we're in a video content creation space, more specifically here on YouTube, and we'll start I want these many subscribers by this date. I want this much money by this date. I want to work with these many brands, and these are the names of them. Like we set up all these different goals. And to some extent, like the superficial, quote unquote, superficial goals of like subscribership numbers and all those different things, like we forget that those goals are backed by some real true reason of why you really want to do what you want to do. And my ever-present goal of helping entrepreneurs simplify the video creation process, you even just heard it a second ago in the intro to this podcast, was that like I want it to be able to help you reach a wider audience and connect deeper with the people that need you the most, because there are people that need your message. Doesn't matter what size of a channel that you have, there are people that need your message. Had I not kept pursuing the goals, the visions, and even, again, what we would qualify as, superficial goals around, the vanity metrics of a subscribership number, those are real people. There's real people behind the press of a button. And I believe that with a single video, not only can you change your life, but you could drastically change other people's lives. And because I believe entrepreneurs, we're doing such a great work in this world of solving problems. All businesses are based in solving a problem. How many more people could we reach, not only through the medium of video, which I believe is the best medium that we have, despite podcasts, as you're listening to or watching, and despite writing blogs and all the rest. All those things are great. But there was one other goal that I had that was as important to me, which was writing a book. Never verbalized it, really didn't talk about it, not even really with close friends. It just would be something that sat in the journal as a one-day kind of goal, because I don't know quite where it would fit. And it wasn't until People of Video 2021 where I was listening to Dale speak about how simple it was. And I'm like, brother, you don't understand the stress, the I don't knows, all these many things. And he asked everyone in the crowd to raise your hand of what are, or some of the things, or even just shout out, what are some of the things that you feel and why you haven't written your book yet. Now, Dale and I have talked. Dale and I are friends. And I had no qualms about speaking this aloud because I wanted to finally deal with it. And it would be just my chance moment where I yell out my answer, and somehow I'm louder than everybody else, and everybody else didn't quite chime in at that moment. They came a little bit later. I didn't get lost in the sea of people. My just came right on out, and everybody turned and looked at Miss D, you, Queen D, you, and I'm like, y'all can turn around now. Okay, I'm in this event too, taking notes like everybody else. I got stuff I'm trying to deal with. And so I said, I'm afraid. Even Dale, he's like, why? I said, I don't know, but I feel it. That's what I feel. And I gave myself a little pat on the back to announce that, because sometimes when you are afraid of whatever the thing is, you don't address it. And I at least was going to commit to outright and in public, I'm going to address this feeling that I can't quite quantify if it's good or bad or right or wrong or where it's coming from or any of it. I just know that that's the identifiable emotion that I'm currently feeling, but I don't have anything yet to kind of combat it. And so got a chance to talk with Dale, and he gave us access to his course. And I started going through it. I started taking notes because I'm like, okay, a year ago, prior to that point, it would have been around about October 2020. I'm like, I want to write a book. Didn't do anything with it other than just the I want. Now it's at the year 2021, and I'm still saying the same thing. I want to get started. And I get this is how and why a lot of people find themselves in the same spot when it comes to YouTube and videos. But until you address whatever that limiting belief is that you have, you're just going to keep recycling that same thought over and over, recycling it over and over. And it's still It's not like it's just sitting there and it's doing nothing. It's very important, I believe, to address these things when it does come back around, instead of letting it cycle back around again, because they get bigger. It's like it has static cling to it. It starts to try to pull other stuff to it. Okay, if there was ever a such thing as the sock gnomes that steal your socks out of the dryer, you put 4 pairs of socks in there and you get back only 2 sets of socks. It was the sock gnomes that got you. That's how, that's the sock gnomes are a part of this crew. Okay, we can't keep letting these things recycle. And so I had to really dig in, because I'm like, okay, if I'm going to take advantage of this course that he's given us, I want to honor. Anytime somebody gives me anything, I want to honor it. I'm not going to sit on it, because it's not until you spend your own money that you really value whatever it is that you're getting. This is why people would leave a video that if they had the winning lottery numbers in it or something like that, they was I don't like the music. 30 seconds in, I'm leaving to go watch something else. It's because you haven't put anything into it. You don't have any skin in the game. So I try to imagine whenever I'm gifted something that I've put my money behind this, to fully leverage it and put it to work. Started reading and I started digesting. And I said, you know what? I am going to write a bestsellers book. I started doing like these office hours in the Facebook group, in the Let's Get Live Facebook group. And I put that on the screen, writing my best-selling book. And I just started to speak, because I believe you have what you say. And so the first person that's going to hear any words that come out of your mouth is you. I'm like, I'm not caving to this whatever this is. I have the information now. Do I know everything? No. All I need to know is the next right step. The next right step right now is to start leveraging what he's giving me access to. Obviously, he has content on his YouTube channel, and that is enough for me to get started. Didn't have an idea of a title and didn't know what exactly I wanted to call it, but I kind of had something. But in reading other books and in watching other booktubers, and people that are in that self-publishing space, they're like, let the title be like the last thing. But you on the inside usually know what the thing is that you want to write about. So I just started writing chunks of the book. No, I don't need to know the program. I don't need to go, like, that's how we get into the weeds. It's kind of the same thing with video. It's like, oh, but before I can get started, let me go find out the cameras. Let me go find out the microphones. What's the softwares? I need all the details before I do this. And the honest answer is no, you don't. Not really. You just need to know enough to start doing the next right step. You honestly could plan your videos before you ever got your first camera. But nobody thinks about it in that perspective. But this is why I say writing the book helped me, or not writing the book, but creating video content helped me to write this book, because they are so similarly aligned, you would think they were twins. And I have a new goal now, because I want to help other content creators, people that I know have a book inside of them. We're going to draw it out. So I already know in the Video Simplified membership community, I'm going to have a micro course in there that's going to be on self-publishing a book. That's why I'm documenting this whole entire experience. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? And what are some of the steps? What were some of the gaps? I'm not going to go that deep into it. I'm still going to stay focused on the main thing, but I think it's important, because I got a whole other vision of just like my mind exploded. And I know that's where a lot of video content creators are, is it's like, I got to know all the things. And it's like, no, you don't. You just need to know the next right step, the next right step for you. And the next right step for me at that time was just writing stuff that I know, if I was to write a book that's all into what I deeply care about, which is helping entrepreneurs simplify the video creation process. If I was to write a book around that, these are some of the things that I would put in it. And so I just started writing like paragraphs. Then later, better resources, better pizza, better people, Papa John's, but with better resources and with knowledge and stuff. And I believe that it's kind of like and I remember reading about this in Think and Grow Rich. It's called the reticular activating system in your brain. It's kind of like when you buy, it's not kind of like it is, when you buy, let's say, a red car. It's a certain kind of, let's say a red Corvette, and that's your dream car you always wanted. You buy that car. The moment you decide that you want to buy that car, you see them everywhere. You see them in the drive-thru in the morning on your way to work. You see them when you're going to your grandma's house. You see the red Corvettes everywhere. Or it's not until you buy it that now all of a sudden everybody has my car. The same thing happens with anything. And so you're now more aware, consciously aware of all of the things that may have been around you to help you at the whole time. But now you're finally at a place where you're going to pay attention to them. They've been there the whole time. It might have been your neighbor 3 doors down that had a red Corvette, but you never quite saw it because you just weren't paying attention. You weren't, you didn't make a decision. And that's what it boiled down to, making a definitive decision that this is what I'm going to do. And when I did that with this book, what it revealed to me was that I should have put all this stuff that I know already to work anyway. I just wasn't sure if it was a different world that I was entering, so different to where I'm kind of like feeling like I'm really out of my depths. But because there's been such a surge in the same way that gatekeepers have been, pretty much they got hit by the recession long before the recession was a thing, right? They lost their jobs a very long time ago. With the introduction of the internet, modern smartphones, by the time we got to around 3G to eventually get into 4G internet speeds, 3G for real was a big kicker because smartphones took a different evolution at that point. Now we can do everything that much faster, and the gatekeepers started to disappear. You don't need a publishing company. And matter of fact, quite frankly, I think it's atrocious. I think it's atrocious that what the self-publishing space has made possible. It's like it shows how atrocious the publishing industry has been for so long. It's kind of like, if anybody has ever seen the movie about it's not Boys to Men. It's what was the group before them? I can't remember. But if you know, you know. Okay, the new edition. That was the name of the group. That movie. Oh my gosh! If you haven't seen that movie, watch that movie. The New Edition movie. I'm always reminded of the mothers in the kitchen signing the contracts with this producer guy. And, they're going on tours. They're doing all these things. They're a big name. They're like nationally, and to a point, I think at that point, internationally known. And they're still going home to the projects with no money. Get off the bus. Hey, everybody, we did it. Woo, we on the radio. We on all the things. Hey, we made the top whatevers. They're broke. Parents didn't understand the contracts. It's not really their fault. You don't know what you don't know, but it removed all of those reasons why that stuff would kind of hit you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not subject to getting railroaded in that way. And to an extent, and I'm not against the publishing industry, but there's definitely some red flags that pop up for some of those things. Not that it's bad, but it's just some red flags that I've seen. And so the self-publishing industry has made that kind of stuff possible, that you don't have to deal with that. And you can go on to sell a book and create a book that doesn't look like something that was made from 1998. Okay, you can make a very good looking cover if you want to make it. Or there's so many people that have embraced their creative side and made it possible for you to work with them. Amazing, incredible people. We're going through 99 designs in order to get our cover done. I'm not doing it myself, because here's the thing. I'll be daggone if I make something that's like in Canva and it looks like it was made in Canva. It's like, Miss D, you should have, like, we call you Queen D because we like you. It's like, it's like, no, we're not doing it. Not that you can't. And not that for some people, that's what makes sense for them. May the Lord bless you and keep you always. However, I will not be subjecting my audience to such atrocities. We do good PDF covers, all the other stuff, but no, I want a professional person that knows what they're doing to put this together. And guess what? So many other books and resources on it. So the gatekeepers, usually for whatever industry or space that you want to be in, have made it possible. Now, what's been the definitive thing of what has really made this work for me or not, has definitely been YouTube. It's crazy because nothing's changed. Nothing really changed from my YouTube experience to writing this book. When I had answers, even when I searched something on Google, it said, you watch these YouTube videos, the best we got. Some of these blog posts are old. They may still have some stuff to YouTube. The speed and production, and first of all, thank you and kudos to those that are creators. But I can tell you this, a lot of people think, and I've been sharing this a lot more with my close friends and just, discussing this experience. There's still a lot of white space and a lot of niches, no matter what it is that you're doing, that a lot of people still don't get. I could make a YouTube channel right now in the self-publishing space because it's still not that many good channels. There's some great channels out there, but there's still not that many that's doing content like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could easily create a whole other channel and just focus on that with a specific niche in mind, you know what I'm saying, that hasn't, in my experience in searching, hasn't been covered. Or maybe YouTube is not just doing a good job with all the searches I've given it in search opportunities. It's not producing that content. So if you're a hidden gem, I think it's like the resources are plenty available of how to stop being hidden. So no excuse, self-publishing space. Y'all got some work to do. Because some of these videos sound like y'all yelling down the hallway. And because I am desperate to hear what you have to say, to get your opinion, I'm listening through it and struggling through it. So, yeah, I really want to tap into that space. I just might do it. But there's no real difference between sometimes some of the planning and preparation that you would make for a video, how you would script or outline, in this sense, the book, of what chapters you want to cover, what should it contain and what should it not. Even what I prize myself in doing in my specific YouTube channel and content creation space is getting to the point. You don't have to wait 4 minutes into any one of my videos before we start getting into the core content. The core content happens sometimes at 18 seconds, 27 seconds, and for sure, by the 40-second thing, unless for some reason there was we're well into the content way sooner than a minute, way sooner than, 30 or 40 seconds for sure. Same rules apply. And and I see it now with that different lens, because how many times have we all read, if you're a reader or if you're maybe listening to audiobooks or what have you, but if you read books, like you've read a book where you're just like, come on, man, I've put books down, given them back to whoever gave it to me. I can't. I just can't. They're like, oh, it's a great book. If you can just get past, no, we're time out for all of that. Maybe, maybe the day will come where, and I'm not even talking and this is fiction and nonfiction books. I don't believe in fluff. I just don't, in anything. I don't believe in fluff in sermons. I don't believe in fluff in videos. I don't believe in fluff in advertising. I don't believe in fluff in anything. It just is unnecessary content, unnecessary space fillers. Sometimes I think for some of these spaces, if you're running into just trying to fill in the gaps with stuff, change the format, the layout, the outline, the whatever. And so it took a year for me to get to where, what was it, a week, maybe a few days ago. Yeah, a week and maybe a few days, something like that. Let's call it a week to be safe. That I finished the manuscript. I remember announcing it on Twitter, I am officially done writing this book. I'm officially done. And I was so happy. I had did 2 back-to-back overnighters, like zero sleep. I'm up for 24 hours. And I got a little sleep the day before, and then that next day I'm just I am there. I wasn't pushing it on purpose, but I'm just now is the right time to do this. Because what happened was, and this is similar to any kind of video content creation journey, more specifically towards entrepreneurs, but it's any kind of journey where you get to a place you're making content, making, and you're like, I'm kind of tired. It's not burnout. I think people are overusing that word. It's not burnout, but it's like, I'm just kind of tired. And maybe it's the way that you're doing it. Maybe it's the way that you're delivering it. Maybe it's your format or something like that. And I do think if you're not having the success that you desire in that moment, that can kind of help, add a little bit of a sour taste to your mouth as well. But you just kind of get to a place like, I'm tired, I'm bored, or, whatever. And so maybe for a season, you take a break from doing certain things or whatever. And I get that, because for a time, I just would do live streams on my channel because I'm like, I don't have time to do recorded content. And I just am no. So that whole process, I'm like, I got to the point, I'm like, it's right to finish it now. But somewhere in that journey, I took about a good 3 to 4 months break in between. And at that point, I was only a couple chapters away from being done. Now, it seems silly to get so close to the mark of being finished and then not, but I, started feeling, again, that anxiety about, I would not be comfortable in that moment saying, I'm done. Because I know that I wouldn't be. And I know that the book would not be something, it wouldn't even be a manuscript of something that I'm proud of. It's just going to be something that I did. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to press pause on this for a while because I need to step away and go do something else. And when you're creating video content, you kind of have to and should do the same thing. Step away, go do something else. And that could be whatever things that you're interested in. For me, I do love to travel. But it's like little stuff, going to the book fair, going to a bookstore, playing with my nieces and nephews, watching anime has been a huge thing for me because it's like a whole other world experience. It's just really fun. And so going to do something fun sometimes can reinvigorate that creative spirit that you need. And so I'm like, I'm just tired of writing right now. I don't feel happy with what I've written. And this whole experience is exhausting. Because I feel like if I get close and everybody's asking, well, when is it coming out? I'm not going to be happy to even talk about it because I'm not happy with what I'm looking at. And that was the right thing to do. So sometimes pausing always isn't poison to your creative journey. If you need to pause and you know that that is what is right for you, to be very honest, to hell with what everybody else says. And I mean that specifically as a video marketing strategist, somebody that's a video coach, help people with their YouTube channels and all this stuff. I am saying if what is right for you is to take a pause, it is not poison for you, especially when you know you and you know what you actually need. I took a while off from even social for a time. I would be present, but not really present. Obviously do some posts, but not for real. Not joining any live streams, not doing any interviews, not doing any things really. We have some pre-recorded videos or stuff like that will go up in the comment section, reply to some other stuff, and that's pretty much it. And so the pause for me was not poison. It was purposeful because when I went back to the book and I went and reread it, that's the most scariest thing to do. And because I'm like, in my mind, what I'm imagining did not feel like what I'm imagining is a mess. And I'm like, I don't even want to see this. Like, I would rather, going off of my feelings in that moment, I'd rather just rewrite the whole thing again. Take the same chapters and rewrite it again. Now, thank God I have friends that I can share. And that when I tell them to be, don't sugarcoat this for me. Don't try to not hurt my feelings because you're not going to hurt me. You're going to hurt my feelings if you don't tell me the truth. I need to know where's the garbage. And I just shared the basic of the title outline and looked at it and they were like, I'm like, I don't like that. This not vibing, or I don't like that title of the book. And it's just like, I think like, so having creative friends, number one, that aren't going to sugarcoat it for me, because sometimes you do need to hear, not even sometimes, I think a lot of times, most of the time, you need to hear the unsugarcoated truth. It's the only way you're going to grow. Grow doesn't happen from being in comfort. It grows from embracing discomfort. And so I'm like, okay, I need to mature the manuscript. I need to make this better. And it's the same thing with the videos. If I send my videos to my friend, I'm like, tell me when you lose interest in watching this video. Or like, what do you think about this? Or I don't really like this one. Here, watch this and tell me what you think. I'm not going to say about 2 minutes I do. No, just where do you lose interest with this? Where does this bore you to death? Or it's like, is this clear? Does this make sense? Because if it doesn't, we're going to take it out or redo it or something. Like not going that route. The same is true with the book. The same way I would like evaluate things with a filter, and I talk about like the how to do this. I marry very much so a lot of the things that I'm telling you now. I'm sharing with you in that book how that process works, how to make a good, competent video for your business that's not boring. And it's a bunch of stuff in there, a bunch of strategy stuff, but it's not an uber long book or anything like that. You can get through this book in 2 hours or less. So if you got a flight with a layover or something like that, you can read this book. That's the kind of book that I'm writing. So we're not making some big chunker. And so I send it to them and they're like, well, this gives me the impression that this, and I'm like, because I'm not telling them a whole lot, but I'm telling them some things. And I'm like, what you're describing is not the book that I'm writing, which means I need to go back to the drawing board. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry, don't apologize. I need to hear all of it. And so again, thankfully having friends that can tell you the truth and you not get upset or it hurts their friendship, you need that. So having creator friends, if you don't have a community of creators, get in a community. You can join the Video Simplified community if you want to. The links have always been available. Was it Dinah.link/membership? You want to join the membership community, become a part of a community. Get on the live streams, Friday Live Helpcast on the channel now. Start there. Start there. If there's other creators that you like, start with the live streams usually. Get to know your fellow creators that are into the same stuff that you're into, instead of being so siloed out in your individual city and state because you live in a little hick town that's nothing but a farm town and nobody's doing what you're doing except for you. You got to get in community with other people. So thankfully went through the manuscript and I'm like, okay, this sucks and the titles suck and it's been confirmed. And so I wouldn't let anybody read the content yet. I just sent it out to the advanced beta readers, like you get like the advanced copy or what have you. Just go through it. And again, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Send me the feedback. And so we started that this week. And so the book just went out. And it's good to use, I'll give you a pro tip here if there's something you want to get into. It's good to use a program that will allow you to send out a MOBI file, like .mobi file, so that you can download it to like your Apple Books or I don't know what it is for Google, specifically what they use, or so you can just read in whatever, or like the Kindle, whatever it is that you personally prefer to read ebooks in or something. And so you can swipe through yourself and see. So I can pull up on my phone right now and show you my book. And so it's not until you're reading it, because I'd be daggone if we're going to have errors and stuff like that in. And I'm just like, I'm not about that life. And so I'm going through and I'm reading my own book. I've read my own book now about 8 times before it went out to people. And then I just changed it again. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, the copy you got was missing a couple of parts. Here's the final version for you to read, or what have you. And so it's not until you read it and you go through it. It's the same thing with videos. Not until you publish it that you like, I didn't remove for that plug-in, that title screen where it's like enter text here and you see it in the corner. Nobody ever comments that, hey, what's that enter text here? But like, it's just sitting there and you see it and it's a thorn in your side, but you let it ride. It is what it is. You get it right on the next one. And so it's the same thing. And so I'm going through the book again. And so I finally found an editor that I'm happy with, because I've been sourcing through a lot of different ones. And I'm just like, the same thing, no different than you finding a coach, somebody to help you with your channel. You got a lot of options, trying to sort through people. And you're like, good grief. It's like, I don't know who to choose. And it's like, well, what are the things that you value? What are the things that you need help with that you know you need help with? Can this coach or this person, for me in this case, the book, the editor, help you see the things that you can't see? And I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable with this person. I think this is going to work. Messaged them, went back and forth, and I'm like, okay. So next week, the book will be in the hands of well, I guess it will be tomorrow, which will be Monday. And again, we listen to audio, it'll be Monday of this anyhow, of the podcast. But I'm like, okay, So we're looking at now, all things considered and all things going pretty gosh darn well, on track to hopefully, with what I know and with what I have and with timelines in place, a mid-January, early February at the latest release, unless I need to push it back a little bit further for some reason. And I could not be happier, because most of what you deal with in any of this goal achievement space, it's just about, honestly, getting over yourself, getting past your limiting beliefs, getting past sometimes the beliefs that you adopt because you hear other people say them and you think, oh, that's a Me Too moment. Be careful with Me Too's. Me Too's is probably some of the worst things that's happening culturally right now. And I don't mean the Me Too movement and what the women were talking about or whatever. I'm saying when somebody says, oh, I'm dealing with burnout, and people are like, me too. Oh, I'm sick of the updates. Me too. Be careful what you say me too to. Because when you start getting in the wrong community and crowds of people that cluster together, you start adopting other people's limiting beliefs and you don't even realize that you're theirs. Don't think that it happens. If you can finish this statement, you've adopted somebody else's limiting belief. Money doesn't grow on fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. Money doesn't grow on what? If you know the end of that statement, you've adopted somebody else's limiting belief. It's a whole bunch of those kinds of phrases that, without thinking, without intentionally knowing it, as a kid, you heard something and you adopted that limiting belief, and now you carry it with you to the point that you know it by heart. Be careful what you say, me too. So this whole process has really been a guarded experience. I didn't share it on the channel. Other than sharing it in the Let's Get Live Facebook community and going live there and sharing my screen, because I needed and I wanted the public accountability that I am doing this. And those of you that heard me speak about it at Dale's talk at People of Video 2021, I'm not a liar. And when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. And so, like I said, be careful about what you agree to, because after a while, you're going to forget who gave you that belief. And so I was very guarded in this whole experience. It was the same thing with when I got started in the video. I tell my coworkers nothing. Well, none of their business, but I know I don't want any of their limiting beliefs. I don't even want to remember anything that they have to say about it at all. And so I don't even think I shared it with my family at the time, really. Not about the video stuff, but about the, I don't really think so with the video stuff, but maybe that came along later. But you get to the point, and I would hope that you do, you get to the point where what other people think about you is none of your business. What other people think about you is none of your business. And so you don't need to say what other people say. I don't believe in the whole haters. I don't think that many people have as many haters as they think. Kanye got haters. Maybe Beyonce got haters or something, but most of us don't really have haters. You had a couple people that maybe said something to you one time that you didn't like, and that's about the extent of it. Not too many people are really that bothered by you. Maybe when you get to a point, you step on a few toes, you're into video creation and stuff like that, that's fine. Even people that leave negative comments on your channel, they're not haters. They're just somebody sometimes that don't agree with you, trying to share their own pain about something that they're dealing with in a nonverbal way, or they're just an idiot. Like, let's just call stupid people stupid and call it a day. They ain't hating on you. They don't even care about you, and you shouldn't care about them. What other people think about you is none of your business, but what you think about you and what you believe to be true about you, that ought to be your greatest concern. And that ought to be your everyday business. And so I've been very guarded in this experience of who I talk to, who I share this with when I was going through the writing process. And then once it got to a point, then I'm publicly documenting and sharing more of what this looks like. So on the vlog channel, you'll see more about what that looks like, even recording up to the minute I think it was like 6 o'clock the next morning, like when I got to the point, I'm like, I'm done. Stayed up all night, played my writing playlist that I created. It just helps keep me in the zone, just stuff that I vibe to, and got it done. And so here we are. And so it's these moments in your life when you think and you feel, because you know that, like you know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know you. And you know that, like, you want these goals at some point, but you just don't know sometimes the official when it's going to happen. But sometimes your wins, W-I-N, don't happen until you decide on a win, W-H-E-N. The wins can't happen, W-I-N, until you decide on a W-H-E-N win. Like, you have to put a date to, I'm going to do this by. And that's the things that you can control. That's the things that you actually can control. I could actually control the writing. We're not going to talk about the designing because I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But I can decide on the when I hire somebody. I can decide on the when that should happen based on the when I'm setting I'm going to be done with this by this date. I can decide on, and I can control a when of when I'm actually going to finish chapters 1 through 3. Okay, then I'm going to do 4, 5. It's like 6 is kind of hard to write. Let's just go straight to 7. I'm going to do like I know I can control those wins. Setting a bunch of WHEN wins that are in alignment to help you get the ultimate goal of the why or the what you're doing ultimately brings you to the WIN win. And so I'm very excited and proud to announce, and I'll be sharing more about this in the description of where you're listening to the audio version, which will be tomorrow, watching the replay of the video, or what you're in English live right now. In the description is where you can get on the book alerts email list. I'll put that down again in the show notes and stuff for the show as well. But you can get on the book alerts email list, and you'll get updates. Obviously not of just like, hey, I made an edit today. It's like, no, you get an advance notice so you can go vote on the cover and see access of what the cover options are. You'll get access in addition to like some of the other things that we're not announcing until later, like the title of the book. So those things are coming. Ultimate first list goes to the Video Simplified membership community. They're getting behind the scenes access to that stuff right now. So, but if you get on the book alerts list, you will get access to that in addition to a few freebies. Let me send out some free physical copies, signed copies of the book. I have a few other things that I'm going to be doing as well. I'll put an asterisk next to that because I don't want to give it away right now, but we will be doing some giveaways of some things in preparation for that. That is where I am going to leave it for this week's episode of the podcast. I'm very excited, humbled, honored, and grateful. So thank you. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode, but the value doesn't stop there. For more in-depth trainings, courses, and growing your brand using video, join the Video Simplified community at videosimplified.live.